a guy that to me, I don't want to say he has to get going, but I just feel like obviously after watching him in the Winnipeg series take it to another level, KK is a guy to me that's doing a lot of great things right now. But as this series continues to go on and Vegas ramps it up, he's a guy that I want to see him get to another level too.
He's got the talent to do it. I mean, we've seen it in the Toronto series of how he just competed every single game. So, like you said, I'm anxious to see him. How do I say this? Not, I don't know. I don't have a word for it. Just
another level. Like, he's shown
not step it up, but get back to the level that you were during the first series where we saw you on every single shift.
Right.
I find that now it's a bit more like one shift on, one shift off. It's not as consistent as what he was, is what I'm trying to say.
You saw in game 2, Ducharme was giving him like a lengthy speech, and I'm actually curious, like, if Dale, when a coach is doing that mid-game, I couldn't really tell if KK was like, "Okay, shut up," or if...
Yeah, you saw how he reacted. That's okay. So he's. I love KK, and this is why I think he's a great player now, and this is why I think he's going to be an amazing player. And I've always vouched for him the last 2 years because he's got some swagger to him. He knows he's good, and he's also got kind of that edge where he kind of doesn't want to be told what to do, which might like make the learning process a little slower than it should be. But he has that arrogance to him, which you need to be a good offensive player in the NHL. And Ducharme was only telling him on the one play. He kind of forced the puck to the middle, went the other way, and they had a rush. So you could and again, I'm the best lip reader. I don't know how I became so good at this, but he was just telling him to eat it. It's okay to just eat it there. Live to battle another day. And that's something as a young guy, you kind of want to you always want to make something happen every shift. And I feel like, when he's not scoring, he's young. He kind of feels like, I got to make something happen. So I'm going to force this play instead of let me just eat it. And you watch Stahl and Perry and Armia do it. Just simple plays. They never force anything. It's just always making the right play. And I thought it was interesting because then Ducharme starts telling him that's exactly what he's telling him. And KK kind of looked at him for a minute and then grabbed his water. He's looking up here and he's like, "Okay, man, okay,
all right, shut up."
And I love it because that's good coaching. But then you could see, okay, we need you. We need you. Like that's awesome. Where
he's motivating him.
Yeah, and I just know the guy before that wouldn't have said a word to KK. He would have just let it go on, let him come to the bench and not say a word, and that's not helping anybody. So I thought that was great from Ducharme. I love that little interaction, and I love KK's swagger.
That's what I was going to say. When you take a look at Ducharme and Julien, I know they're saying they're implementing the same system, the same types of play, but compared to Julien would never, I don't remember seeing him talking to guys on the bench, trying to pump anybody up, showing any emotion compared to in Boston, where he was losing his shit every single game, and then you see Ducharme, who's actually taking the time, and Alex Burrows too, very involved verbally with the players. So that's something that, as a fan, I appreciate. Like they're involved.
They're coaching. It's coaching. They're coaching. It's awesome. It's awesome to see, right?
So it wasn't just in my head that Julien wasn't like that.
No, you're bang on. Like he just wouldn't say anything. There's so many coaches, I'm telling you, that they don't do anything. They don't make in-game adjustments. They don't talk to players. They don't motivate players. They literally have their game plan and then they tell what line's going and that's it. And they sit back there and chew their gum and sip some water. I was so I loved Ducharme interacting and just he was great because that's so good as a player and especially as a young guy. You need that pat on the back. When things aren't going well for you, you got to be there. You can be hard on him, but when he needs a pat on the back, be there to pat him on the back. Hey, we need you. You're great. Boom, let's go. That's just so big.
That's why, as much as KK was kind of looking away, he was listening, and he's like, okay, yeah, now I know. He took the advice and the coaching, all players should, So yeah, that's great coaching.
Yeah, and a huge thing, and former Montreal Canadian, now Toronto bench boss, Manny Malhotra told me this. He's like, when a coach is talking to you, take the message, not the tone. And that was that was a really good piece of advice for me. And he was the only guy that's ever said it to me, and I loved it because a guy like Julien would say something to you and would make you feel like you're the worst player in the world, and it's hard if you're not like, again, as a young guy, that would be tough to take. You wouldn't be able to take the message. All you would hear is the tone, and then it would shut you down. So I love the interaction. And Burrows, and I got a chance to see it firsthand in Laval, was unreal at that. Like, again, a great teacher. A guy that wasn't the most skilled guy, and he played with 2 Hall of Famers for a very, very long time, and had a lot of success. So, you gotta know the game to be able to do that. And
you played with him too, right?
Yeah, in Vancouver. So I knew him as a teammate, and I knew him as a coach. He's just a good person. He's a good motivator. Like, I could just, I mean, I'm not in the room right now, but I know the type of guy he is. I know what he's doing, and I just know he's having an impact on those young guys where, even if Ducharme is hard on him at some points, he'd be the guy coming behind after and be like, hey, but you did this good, and keep it going.